Okay, this is your introduction to how to cite your sources, which is particularly important for your witness statement for reasons that I will explain in just a moment. So what does it mean to cite something and why do we do it? Citing means giving the source of your information, and there's 3 reasons why we do that. First, it's to avoid plagiarism and give credit to the people who have created content, to not pass off content that is not yours as your own. So to give credit to whoever has done the work, created the information. Second, though, is to cover your own back, especially if information you're using is not right. If you can say the source where you got it from in good faith, that protects you a little bit. And then last is to allow others to replicate our research, to seek context, to fact check us. So if somebody doesn't believe your argument, they can do the research themselves and follow how you got to where you ended up. So for all of those reasons, citing your sources makes you more persuasive and more academically honest. In addition, in the trial, you must cite your sources in your witness statement or you will be impeached at the trial. That means that you'll do your direct examination, but then the cross-examining attorney will stand up and say, Your Honor, this witness does not have a works cited statement and therefore is not credible, and the judge will ask you to step down without doing your cross-examination, which means you won't get to do that part of the trial. So to get ready for that and to show me that you can do citations correctly, you have a citation benchmark. This is how it'll work. You're writing a witness statement, and you're actually going to submit that statement in 2 places. You're submitting your witness statement to Ms. Diaz's Canvas for feedback on the content. That's due this Friday. You will receive teacher and attorney comments that you can use for revision before the trial. But then you're going to submit a link to that same statement, same document, to my Canvas, assignment number 21, the citation benchmark as well. And I will grade that witness statement solely in terms of formatting and accuracy on your citations. If you look over at the rubric on this slide, there's 4 criteria. You need to have every fact or quotation with a parenthetical citation. Every source cited in a parenthetical citation in the body of the paper needs to be listed in the works cited and vice versa. And each parenthetical citation should be accurately formatted, and the works cited section needs to be accurately formatted as well. Okay, and all of these I'll explain in just a minute. If there are any errors and you've missed any points, I will tell you what those are, and you are welcome to revise and resubmit this document for up to 20 out of 20 points in the formative assessments category. The deadline for this is Friday, December 17th is when I will stop accepting revisions. Okay, so that's how the citation benchmark will work. You submit your witness statement to me, try to pass your citations. If you need to revise, you revise and resubmit. Okay, so let's talk citations. There's actually 2 pieces of citations that work together. On one hand, you have the works cited section, which gives details about your sources. On the other hand, you have in-text citations that tell which source every fact came from. And these 2 things work together to show how you got your information. So let's talk works cited section first. The works cited section comes at the end of your paper. So this is a sample witness statement for Malala Yousafzai. It's down here, is the works cited section. It lists all the sources you used in alphabetical order. So if you notice these, it moves from 15 to B, B, C, M, M, M. And you see those are listed in alphabetical order. It gives detailed information about each source, who wrote it, what it's called, which website it was on, when you found it. This used to be really complicated to make this section, and now you can create it right in Google Docs, which is wild. To show you how to create a citation within Google Documents, I'm using my sample witness statement, which is Joseph Stalin. So the first thing you want to do is go to Tools, and then choose Citations. And you'll see this window pop up on the side. It's already preset to MLA, which is what you want. It's just a style of citation. And you're going to click this blue Add Citation Source. So if one of the sources I used to write my witness statement was this Joseph Stalin article from Encyclopedia Britannica, I'm going to copy the URL of that source. Over here, it asks for the source type. This is not a book. This is a website. I accessed it by website, and then it wants me to search with the URL. So I'm going to paste the URL here and say search. It's going to look for all the information it can find about this source. It's found a lot. And then I'm going to go to continue. Okay, so now it's figured out who the author is. I'm going to see if there's any blanks. Any blanks that are here, I will do my best to try to find and fill in. So here it's got a title. That looks pretty good. Here's the website title. The publisher is Encyclopedia Britannica again, so I can fill that in. Encyclopedia Britannica. Usually you can scroll down or up. It'll be either at the very top or the very bottom. This is Britannica's public website. This one actually doesn't show it. Usually down here at the very bottom of the page, there'll be some sort of information about who published the website. I am having trouble finding it on this one. I spelled Britannica wrong. Oop. Okay, here's the URL. It asks for the day, month, and year it was published, and that is blank. If I go back here, I can see that it was last updated here, November 16th, 2023, so I can fill that in. The 16th of November, 2023. Here's the day I accessed it, that's correct. Short title, I don't have that. Again, anything you can't find, you can leave blank. When you're done, you say add a citation source. And now it creates a citation for you. You're going to repeat that same process, add a citation source, for every source you have. If you're using Lord of the Flies or another book, obviously you use the book and how you accessed it. Is it print? Is it on a website? You might have used a film like from YouTube. So you can go film and then how you accessed it. Did you find it on film? Was it on a website? Or most of you will have websites and then you just put in the URL. So you're going to create a citation for each source you used to research your character. When you're done, you'll notice at the bottom of your witness statement, I put a heading for you that says Works Cited, Paste All Sources Below. If you put the cursor there, and then you go back to your Google Citations thing, and you click this blue button, it will create your Works Cited section for you. All you have to do is click the button. Okay, and now it puts in, here's the sources that I've used. They should be, oh, it's not centered. That looks good. So it formats them correctly for you. It puts the sources in there, and that's it. Okay, so you create all your citations. When you're ready, you click Insert Works Cited and enter those at the bottom. That's the first part of your citations benchmark. So now you try it. You're going to create your works cited section. On your witness statement, find the works cited section. For each source that you used in your research organizer, you're going to create a citation in Google Docs, a reminder that you do tools and then citations to get there. Look for and fill in as much requested information as you can. If you can't find something, you can just leave it blank and it will still create the citation the best it can. When you've added all the sources to your document, click the blue Create Works Cited button, paste it into your document, and you are done with half of this benchmark. Pause the video, go do that now. Please ask for help if you get stuck on anything. The second part of your work around citations is the in-text citations. So we've done the works cited, and now we need to do the in-text citations, and those tell which source every fact came from. Okay, here's how they work. Remember that your works cited section is at the bottom, but your in-text citations show up in the body paragraphs, right after any information that didn't come from your own brain. They look like a short word or phrase in parentheses and a page number if it's from a book, and they connect to a source in the works cited section to say where the information did come from. There's a logic to how these are created. So this is a set of citations for my Joseph Stalin witness statement. You see I used 4 sources. I want you to see if you can guess where the in-text citation comes from. Okay, for this first source, if I got a fact from this Encyclopedia Britannica page, my in-text citation would be Hingley. Look at the full citation. And hopefully you're noticing that the very first word in the yellow is Hingley. It comes from the beginning of the citation. Let's look at this next one. This next one is history.com staff. You'll notice that's what is at the beginning of the full citation. It's just what's at the beginning. This next one is a little bit tricky. Look at the beginning. What do you think it will be? Okay, it should be Joseph Stalin in quotation marks, exactly the way it is at the beginning of the citation. If you said it was the BBC, you'd be in good company, but let's think about why it is not BBC. If you put BBC in your parenthetical, it would tell your reader, scroll down my list of sources and look for the one that starts with BBC, and that will give you more information. If I look down this list, I see one that starts with H, I see another that starts with H, one that starts with J, and one that starts with S. I don't see anything that starts with BBC. And then as a reader, I would say, oh my gosh, they didn't put this in their full citation or in their works cited section. So the reason that you use the beginning of the full citation for your parenthetical is because it connects them together and makes it easy to find. So using that logic, this last one would be Simkin, would be the parenthetical citation. So that's the logic. The in-text citation comes from whatever is at the beginning of your full citation to help us find it. Okay, so what do you need to cite and where? You need to cite any ideas that are not yours. Any information that did not come out of your own brain, you need to say where it did come from with a citation. If you have words that you have taken that are not yours, you do something additional. You put quotation marks around those words, and that says, hey, these words are not my own, and then you cite where those words did come from. Anytime you do a citation, it comes right after the material you have drawn from your source. It does not come after your analysis. So the citation comes immediately after the idea or the words that you have borrowed. So now it's time to create your own parenthetical citations. This is what it's going to look like. You need to add a parenthetical citation to each researched fact. You should have at least one per paragraph, likely more. For each fact you didn't already know in your brain, give the source for that information in parentheses at the end of the information. And that source must also be listed in full in your works cited. Here's an example if I were doing Batman. As a child, I witnessed the murder of my own parents in a botched robbery by Joe Chill. Here's the source for that information. It's written by finger. A trauma that would haunt me into adulthood. And that idea came from my source by Warshock. Okay? So at the end of every fact that was not in your own brain, you cite your source. Google also makes this super easy. Let's look at how we do that. So I'm back on my sample document about Joseph Stalin. I've done my works cited. You can see my works cited page at the bottom. But now I'm ready to do my parenthetical citations. So this first fact about where he was born and where Stalin went to seminary school, I didn't know. I got that from a source. I'm going to find the source that I used to get that information over here in my list of sources. And when I find it, I'm going to click Cite. And you'll notice it adds a perfectly formatted parenthetical citation at the end of my sentence. Perfect. So now I'm going to go through my whole witness statement. Every time I see a fact that I did not know in my own brain, I'm going to put the cursor, go to my list of sources, find the source where I got the fact, click Cite. When you've done that, you have finished your in-text citations, and now you're pretty much done. So now you know how to create a works cited section. You know how to use Google Citations to create parenthetical citations. So now you're ready. Make sure that you've cited all of the sources you used to gather your information at the end of your witness statement in a works cited section in alphabetical order. Make sure that every fact or quote you researched is followed by a parenthetical citation that matches an entry in your works cited section. And make sure that any direct quotes, which are things not in your own words, are set off in quotation marks. One more reminder, if you are missing a works cited or citations, you will be impeached for lack of credibility during the trial. When you're done and your citations look as good as you can get them, you're going to submit a link to your witness statement to English assignment number 21 on my Canvas. I'll be looking for your parentheticals and your works cited to be complete, correctly placed, correctly formatted, and I will return the scores to you. If you have any mistakes, you'll correct those and resubmit anytime through December 17th. You can get up to 20 out of 20 on this benchmark in the formative assessment category. Happy citing. Thank you for your academic honesty. I can't wait to see you at the trial.